What's up? What's up first? Alright, so let's see. Let me check this volume level here. Turn this down just a little bit. Alright, so, you can easily cycle through palettes by pressing a button. I've got 5 palettes now. I'd like to find more stage palettes. This is one I kind of made, this index. Kind of like a gradient from white to black. I don't know if anybody's recognized it, not that I know of. I mean, to me it looks like there's obviously, let me do this, let me put, there we go. Looks to me like there's a sign somewhere out front here, in the lower left. Oh, that palette it's tied to the selector palette. It's kind of neat. This is Reptiles Fatality palette. This is one from one of the MK3 stages that were dropped, either the bank or the portal. It's probably the portal one. That's a generic one that draws the health bars and the winds and stuff like that. I have no idea what this one was. It was just, it was unlabeled. But that, yeah, this palette here looks kind of neat. It's doing like a palette switching technique, it looks like, to make it animated. I'm surprised you didn't. There wasn't a whole lot of that in MK games, unfortunately. They did a little bit here and there, like they did it with Deadpool. They did a little palette index switching to give it the shimmer on the acid, but could have done a lot more with that. So they didn't have a guy that was really talented in that department for making those, or wasn't experienced with making them. Yeah, there's quite a bit of stage palettes though. Like if we go over, let me switch screens here. If we go over here and look for a stage here. I'm not sure what stage this is. But if we go to a stage and I want to say it's let me split my screen up here so we can search, but I want to say it's right after this one to the FD00, maybe our layer. I'm trying to find the palettes. Yeah, so here's a layer here. This is our, one's going to be palettes, one's going to be sprites, and the other one's going to be the actual layout, the tile layout, which would be kind of neat to write some kind of program to where you can set your own tile layouts. So let me see, the first one is FFDO CE30. Okay, so the first one is our tile arrangement. It's a rather small stage, or it may even just be a background for the attract mode screens or something like that. So that's our tile arrangement. The second pointer, FFDO CB10. What do we got here? Looks like a sprite attribute. You know what? Let's punch that into the sprite search and see what we get. Looks like we got CC10. CC80. See what this sprite is. I'm not sure what the attribute is yet. Let's pick a better palette for it. Now let's do that. And then if that's a graphic address, it's EEF4. And 07FO. So 07FO EF4. So that means let's go up here and change our draw attribute, because what's up, Gustavo? So I'm sorry, 6480. It's telling me. It don't look right. CC. Okay, there we go. That's a portal. Got an idea about this flickering. Let me see something here. I think I might be able to fix that on the fly here. If I remember correctly, we got 10B9300 somewhere. Contains involvement human-like intense activity. Alright, so this might be what's going on in the screen there. Just this. Maybe not. Okay, so it's someplace else that it's pulling it from. Oh well, not worried about it right now. But that's a portal stage background. You can see it's probably the top left quadrant. Alright, so back to what I was looking for. So yeah, so each stage it's going to have multiple palettes here, and that one was C865. Display the other ones here while I'm and that is 07 C. B7F8. Okay, so yeah, that's the sides of the that portal background. Looks like a pot of gold. Alright, so let's see the FC10. So the second pointer is the sprite sprite array. And the last one's going to be our palettes. D3 A2DO. And here's our palette array. What I can do is possibly I can pull all of the the stage sprite or palettes in there. I'm just trying. I want to do it as optimize it as much as possible, so I don't have a huge list of pointers and palette names. Because currently we've got for the different palettes in here, we've got an array for the names, and we have the array for the palettes, and it was kind of tricky making it work where you'd have palette and the generic and the name of the palette. As you can see here, this is how we're doing it. The little wildcard with an S there, it converts our data to a string. But the problem is normally the only I don't think this game uses a wildcard, the string wildcard. It uses the one for decimal for combos and such, but I couldn't find anything for the string. That pretty much takes a hex value and converts it to a string. But normally they would use they would stuff those hexadecimal values into this address, and they would convert it to decimal. But we don't have that option here, because if we were to put that into that usual location, it would just be a pointer, and it wouldn't display the actual string. It would display whatever the character values were for the pointer value, which wouldn't look right at all. So what I end up having to do that was, after calculating which palette it was and the string to go with it, I ripped the string to another area of scratch in RAM, and then from there we redirect where that wildcard location is to there. So it works nice. You cycle through palettes by pressing a button. We can go up or down. I don't have an option yet for set up or down, but if you go up, it uses whatever your last direction was. So if you go up, it's going to go up. If you go down, it's going to go down. Yeah, we're actually looking into. We found something yesterday. I'll get it up here for a second. I got a little notepad. I've been keeping interesting things that I found. So one of them is this building that we don't know what the building is. It doesn't look familiar to me whatsoever. But I'll punch it in. I'll show you what it is. We got 39A. And our draw attribute we found was 6. Okay. And let's see our location. Yes. Oops, gotta change my scan size here. And what I got done last night was I was kind of overthinking. Pretty much this address field down here. You can change any digit individually up or down. But it won't change the overall address unless you loop next to it. What you can do also is you can use the scan size, but only when you're in the digit on the far right. I did that so if you were scanning and you saw something and you stopped the scan and you were stepping at a high rate, when you press down or up, you can find it a lot easier with jumping with the same rate that you were scanning. Alright, so we've got 3F70, let me go back to where I was, 3F75, and 76B. Yeah, this is the image that I found yesterday. It looks like a building of some sort with a window and a sign out front. Some cinder block type building, like a mosque style ceiling or roof. So yeah, that's what we found. If you guys have any idea what that might be, let me know, because I have no idea what this sprite is. No idea what that's from. I mean, it may even be left over from MK2. I don't know. Sometimes they do that with graphics, but it doesn't look familiar from that game either. If we were to work on more palettes, I'd have to come up with something nice and tricky to load stage data. We'll have to go by stage ID, look up the location of the stage data, get the offset for the layers, and then for each layer we have to pull, was it the third pointer, and that's going to be an array to each of the palettes. So I mean, we got a couple hoops to jump through, but I guess we'll pretty much reduce stage ID. To get stage data, and then from stage data we'll get, let me see, looks like it's 20, 30, 40, and 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, A, B, C, D. Okay. EO or FO, depending. EO or 100. I think it's going to vary depending if EO offset that equals 1 and not a pointer. Just the way the stages are built, if there's 1 it signifies something. If it's not a 1, it's got a pointer. The pointer is going to be to the layer assets, the tile set. Yeah, it does. Which is interesting. So we'll get some more pallets in here. We're probably not gonna. Well, we might get lucky. It might be something that was used from a stage that's still in the game, but uses the same pallet. You never know. Alright, so from the stage offset value, we'll go FFDO, D100. Okay, we have multiple layers for that, so oh, 20. The first one was our last one was our palette array, I believe. So that's FFD3, I2DO. Yep, that's our palette. So we'll do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 is our offset. F layer. So the offset equals our palette array. There's no terminator at the end, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Little sign makes it. Ooh, yeah, that's a good point there. Maybe it's the graveyard. I could see it fitting in here, but definitely not in the game. Yeah, it's not in the graveyard. Alright, so another thing, I'll show you this one. This ain't a really big deal, but I couldn't picture where this was either. And I don't think I have it real accurate. B57. In that range where it's at the end of the ROMs. B57, it's just a letter S, it looks similar. 3D3A. Maybe I was overthinking it, but looks like a gigantic S. There's probably some attributes in here that yeah, it's not much to look at, I know, but it's just something that caught my eye, so I jotted it down. Alright, so yeah, it's just like, it looks like it's a giant S or something. Not really sure, but I saw that and I was like, what is that? But it could be something else. It could be just wouldn't be 29. Let's see. I'm guessing 5 bits. Let this scan and see if we get something just for. So we're scan backwards though. And we're going to use scan size as a total dimension. So it don't matter there. Let's increase the delay because it's a bit fast. There we go. Let's just scan it backwards with the 5 bits per pixel bit depth. Going by, this is kind of what spurred a little bit of the notion or the motivation to make this, is just finding stuff that I think that would be in the game, like the brutalities, because there's the sound that's still in the game, but I don't think anybody's found the actual letters in the graphic ROMs. So we can get that, that'd be great. Going by MK Trilogy's source code, you can see we've got a palette here. It looks like, you know, it's on Nintendo 64, so the color range is increased. But we also have what is that? Here we go. This is our dimensions. That's our dimensions. Initially I thought, well, maybe that's just Nintendo 64. Let me look this up. Let me see here. You know, maybe these sprite dimensions are something they made just for the 64. I started looking. I'm trying to find. There's a big difference in a couple of the ways these brutality letters are drawn. A couple different variations. So you've got a version that looks really small and kind of bunched up a little bit. Actually, here I've got this. So we got here is we've got, this is a screenshot from the arcade, and this brutality logo here. This is something I pulled, I think, off of MK Warehouse, I think. And then going by the dimensions of this document here, we've got a couple placeholders here for what would be the B, what would be the R, and this is all 100% scaled. So I'm sorry, this wasn't scaled, this is just at its original size. You can see these letters are smaller, so these are not the letters that are being referenced in this document. And this brutality, I believe, was pulled from Nintendo 64. So that leads me to believe that those might still be in here under those dimensions somewhere. Here's what I was talking about. Look how small that brutality looks. As opposed to, you can see how much larger the brutality is in that picture. So I'm not sure the differences. I don't know which consoles have that difference. It's a good idea, Avistus. We can, if we can find the sprite for the fatality, we can take a peek there. Don't know what's bookmarked for that. Sure, there's gonna be a ton of fatality bookmarks here. Alright, so I'm gonna probably do the fastest way to find that. This would probably launch the game, do a fatality. Fortunately, I don't know any MK3 fatalities, top of my head.
I win.
Find out. We get a fatality here. Let's get katanas. Alright, run, run, block, block, block. Run, run, block, block, low kick. Okay.
Here we go. You can never with Scorpion. Round 1, fight. Kitana wins plus victory. Round 2, fight.
Alright, we'll do a save state there. Let's pull this up. I guess I could do a save after I do the fatality here. So let's do. Make sure I got my buttons right. Here we got run, block, we got low kick. Okay.
Finish him.
Let me save it.
Flawless. Victory. Fatality.
Alright, so F9.
Victory.
Alright, so let's see here. We want. One of these here. I'm going to guess it's going to be this one. Seems to be the more common one that I.
Fatality. Victory. Fatality.
Alright, it's not that one. Here we go. So A5 is going to have our pointer to our fatality graphic. Alright, so let's go over here and we got 57, OA90. And this is going to be animated, so this is, well, that might be it. Might be the only one. Save that address just in case. We'll look for that OA57FF. You got a couple references to it. It's probably where we came from here. And then it put 50,000 into E4, and then it's going to call the FF9B2F AO. Yeah, that's where we're at here because we've got our 50,000 or 500,000 in A4. Okay, so get our statistics there. Looks like we've got punch that in over here. So let's stop this. All right, so that's 7. Kind of odd. Let's see, we've got a graphic. We got a width of 7F. Sorry. Yeah, a width of 7F, but only a height of 1 pixel. This thing's got to be animated. Is that the way it folds down from top to bottom? Maybe that explains it. Right, we can increase it. the height doesn't make a difference in the way it draws. It just draws a little extra. 5,000. Okay, we're good there. And then we'll go to COOD. Let's change our step. BDB. BDB C00D. So it's going to be really hard to see since literally 1 pixel. So it's but if we look over here, it looks like we have second reference might be the animation, because we got pixel. We got the first frame here. These are probably the second one, OC40. So I'm gonna keep track of where these are stored. BDB C00D. That's the first one. So let's go to the next one, FFD7 OC40. So right off the bat, it's 310. Right off the bat, we're skipping 2 frames of something. Let's do Sprite. Let's mark this so we can get a visual. Fatality. Frame 0. Let's give it a nice red. And let's go back to what was that? FFD7 OC40. Can't type today. So there's second frame. Actually, this one's a bit long. Let me take off 2 of those bytes. There we go. So you can see this data here. Let's punch those in real fast, just out of curiosity to see what those are. DB C288s. Those dimensions are 7 by 11. The 4000 draw attribute. So that looks like the candle from the church stage. Alright, so that's the candle. Let's do the one next to it. 55 by 35. Just to see what that other one that was skipped was. And we got a draw attribute of 6180. And we got C464. That's the mercy sign, I believe. Yeah, that looks like the mercy sign coming in. Yeah, it doesn't trip in this game. So let's mark these. Let's go over here and Sprite that was the candle flame, so we'll mark that, and then Sprite Mercy. We'll jot down this Mercy one because that might BDB C464. Like to see, like, get a nice visual of the gaps in this data. So if I had to guess, we would have to go BDB 6180, and then we have 810, 5000. We got 1B29, so we can try. So we're just going down from the fatality one right now. I would think it'd be in that direction, but yeah, it's been found. I don't know when or where, but it's a lot of that stuff is left over. So you know, it might even be MK2. I bet that's where it comes from, is MK2 left over, because they still have the blood drops for the decapitations and stuff that are restored at one point. Yeah, no, this is just doing a quick down scan from the fatality location with the suspected dimensions of the brutality, the letter B, R, or U. Let's see, we're at B1. Yeah, we're way past. We're way past it, or it would be if it was next to it, anyways. So let's continue and look at the rest of these. So we've got EDC 1700. Okay, so you see that is let's see, BD 1700. That's significantly before, like frame 2 is way before frame 1. Wonder why that is. Let's see. Oh, that's right, my step size. I was like, what's going on here? Let's see, BDC, BDB, BDB 1700, and then we've got 7F9 with 5B80. OBDC. There we go. Yeah, so there's the first, the second frame of the fatality sign coming in. Yes, that's way before the first one. The first one's at BDBC00D, and the second frame is at BDB 1700. Alright, so let's see the next one. Let's get this mapped out here, and then we'll do a plan of attack here. So let's see, fatality, frame 1, frame 0, and the next one we've got FFD7, OCBO, just mark that. Value frame 2. And that is at OBDC 26. Sorry, I was wrong about that last frame being before it. I had it as BDB, should have been BDC. So since BDC 26 BB. Okay. So I wonder if right after this fatality frame 1, are we going to see Mercy frame 1 as well? See, because that is originally 5535. If we were to do 5535. Just to see if I'm right here. And it was 6180 was its draw attribute, so it's 6 bits per pixel. Oh well. We'll continue on. Let's see, that's frame 2. And we'll just go by 2, and it has 3. BDC 3A97. OD20, OD90. So these are all sequential as far as the pointers go. The last one is at, we'll work all this stuff backwards here because I think it's all going to be. Okay, so there's our last one. This is BDF 8dB. Yeah, what we got there? We've got PDF 8BDE. Let's check that out. And that was at 5C80. A2 by 29. Alright, so from here, we can try to go up. Probably shouldn't go up at that scan rate because the draw attribute makes a huge difference in stuff. You can see just one pixel or one letter off the address and it's just borked. What's up there, Buzz? Just digging, man. Just doing some digging. A little Sunday afternoon digging. Oh no, Buzz. There's tons of stuff that people's probably never seen. Just because if it's not referenced in the program ROM, or if it wasn't shown on the PC version where people could extract them, then they were never seen. I mean, this stuff. This is original stuff here. This obviously the fatality sign is in the game. There was one. I'll show you, Buzz. Maybe you can figure it out. I'll punch this address in, and there's like a building of some sort that I have no idea where it came from. Maybe you have an idea. Let's see, 76B. F75. So it looks like exterior of a building with looks to be like a sign in the front, the bottom left. Not really sure where it came from. I don't recall ever seeing this graphic at all. Looks like there maybe was some blood or maybe some green moss growing on the building or something. So that's what we're doing. Kind of looking for the brutality. Let me save a state here. Save it as W for wall. There we go. So I'm kind of looking for the brutality letters. So it'd be kind of neat to find those. Find something that's not referenced from the program side, that's on the graphic side. Have a big deal for me. Just because of the way the data's on there, it's you can never find it. If it's not referenced, you would never know. You'd have to do something like what I'm doing here, but even with this little tool I made, it's still kind of trivial when it comes to the draw attributes. If they're not right, then it won't display it. It won't. Sometimes, well, most of the time, it's not even remotely close to what it should look like. But it's because of the fact that they use variable bit depths. So at the rate that it reads, a pixel can vary. So you can see this is 5 bits. It won't read until you go 6 bits, just because of the fact that it's not going to display right. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just doing a little Sunday digging. Well, at least not with that draw attribute. We can jump with that size. Because I was thinking, well, maybe we have another wall similar sized. But, see, you can see something, but the draw, like for instance, there's these little squares down here. I've seen these before. This is like some kind of wood. Yeah, I originally had that planned for that searching tool. You can see it up here, player 1 start. would automate changing attributes. Like maybe we can do an address change, show image, change attribute, and we'll go through the whole attribute list, and then we'll change to the next address. So we can probably do something like that. It'd be really beneficial probably to do that. Let's see, routine, there we go. Start button, so player 2 start. We have nothing for player 2 yet. What we can do is we probably don't even have to put it in there. We can probably integrate it into the auto scan. Because the way this whole thing, this is all just one process. There's no processes going. Makes it easy. No timing issues. So when we jump to an auto scan, it's in a loop until you press start on player 1 to come out of it. So we can probably do that. We can we'll jump to our auto. So this is our loop where when player 1 presses start, it'll do our address step, which is that whole thing I rewrote yesterday, which is a lot better now. This is that loop right here that instead of dealing with before I had 1 byte or 2 bytes of data for each. I really didn't need 2 bytes, but it was easier working with that since the default size that we work with is 2 bytes at a time. I did it that route, but it made it a lot harder when doing stepping. Doing scanning. Now I just add or subtract to the actual address, and then I have another routine that allows you to just go up and down to change the address as well. So what we'll do is we'll add that attribute cycle in here as well. We'll just do something like and we'll do all of this, and then before we come back, cycle attributes. So all we have to do here is we got to make sure we call the show image routine, because that's what's going to update our image. And then when we return, it'll do the rest. It'll update our address. Alright, so with this, what we want an array of attributes. I don't really see any 1-bit or 2-bit or even 3 bits per pixel. The minimum I've seen in this game, I believe, is 4. So we'll go down and we'll do probably the basics. There's not too many, honestly. There's like an 80, which for the most part the second bit. Let's see here, we got 6,000. Yeah, the second set of bits, the 4 bits here, are responsible for flipping horizontal, vertical, stuff like that. If we go over here, see it here. And notice that the next set, these are only used. We have this set set to 8. We'll have like a 6180. We'll have a 5180, 6580, stuff like that. I mean, this, at the very minimum, this is going to help. The problem is when this is changing, when you see something, by the time that you press start, that draw attribute has already cycled. So that's going to make it kind of tricky for you. 5C80 we have, G80, 480, I'm just going to add all these. I mean, I'm not sure if any of these are going to be used, but it's not going to be too many. There might be a dozen or two at the most. Not even. Let's see, what do we got? We got 12 here. It's yeah, probably got under a couple dozen. It's not a big deal. And all these bits within this, they all do something for imaging, and it. So we got a 5780 also. So 5780. Alright, so the plan again was to whenever we do a step for the address and display our image, we're going to go through all these attributes as well. Just so we have all our bases covered, for most of them anyways, as far as draw techniques. That way you can get a more robust search at the dimensions you put in, not have to play too much with the draw attributes. 5480, we've got that. 5A. Okay, we got a 5A80. There's probably a better way to do this, but I don't expect to have too many of them. To have to go through the whole. How many numbers is that? 65,535. Yeah, I mean we could go that route, but it would slow scanning down quite a bit. Let's see, 4,000 is good. I don't expect anything out of the 4 to 6-bit range. Obviously, our custom graphics are 8-bit. We can probably do different bit rates on our graphics. You'd have to use a tool, break down the bits per pixel, kind of like ProMotion or something. Plug them in that way. Alright, so I think that's pretty good. I'm looking to see if I see any other ones real fast. We got a 4580. Okay, so let's get to 45. So it's probably looking like we might have like the second digit is responsible for a bunch of different things. So we got a 4580. We're gonna have a 5580. And they do like and, or, add, divide, subtract. They do a bunch of different image tricks. So we got 21 here. Okay, so let's roll with that, because we're gonna have to do a lot more stuff here. We're gonna have to update our display as well, and we'll do that just by pushing those values into where these normally reside. It doesn't have the nifty, easier way like my address does, because I don't have to deal with it as much. Alright, so we gotta get a terminator here. And with all this comes a new offset. So let's make a spot for a variable here, and that's going to be our attribute cycle index, which is 2FO. With that, we have to make sure that that is empty, so we don't have a crazy out of bounds array that would crash us. So we get 2FOH. So that's set there. It will come back down here, and we'll just keep this simple. We'll just make it increment every time it's called until it gets to 0. Then it'll reset. Type today, can't type any day. Alright, so let's move that over, because we're gonna actually, no, it's not. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna increment AO, and then we'll add our array for our attribute. 2AO. I'll move that value. We'll get that value at that location. Have a little jump here, because jump to runtime if not equal. I'm going to change that to be, but if it is equal, we're going to clear A0. slide first. We got a slide. Oops, 4H. We gotta make sure that we're not at our terminator. If we are, we want to re-roll it, reset it to 0, get a new one. But if it's not 0, we're gonna jump to change attribute. We're gonna have two things here. We want to update RAM, new attributes, and then we have to update attribute display. Alright, so we'll do this. Let's see, do we have our value? A0, 0. Okay, so our value's in A0. Alright, so we can do this simple. We can do, so we have 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide left by C should give us our first one. I'm sorry, slide right. Go into search, and it's going to be our draw type 0. What we have to do is we have to, well, in A1 we've got to preserve that. A1 into AO, then we'll do, so if we wanted a third one, we'll do, we can slide right by 8 and I by F, or we can slide left by 1C and slide right by 1. All different ways. So if we do, say our draw attribute just for 4, 3, 2, 1. We can either and we can right shift by 8. And there's our 3, and then we can do like a left slide by 1C, and then a right slide by 1C, and that'll be our 3. But you got to be careful when you're doing. You got something like say we got 48, 21, and we do that same technique. We slide right by 4 or by 8. Then we want to do that same technique. We slide left by 1C. We get our 8, but as soon as we go back and slide right by 1C, we don't have 8. We have something we don't want. So you gotta be careful when sliding. Sometimes when you're above 7. So the best thing probably would be to do, so we have 4, 3, 2, 1. We just slide right by 8, and then we'll and I. I don't really like using the and I or anding it too much by intermediate because it just takes 3 words. It just seems like the code to do such a process is just as long as the one it should be. For instance, we go FH, we and I FHAO. We gotta put our I in there for enemy. So you can see it's like 3 words long. But if we were to do what we slide right, and then slide right. See there we have only 1, but like if we do that and it's an 8. If our value is an 8, we're gonna have the correct value. We can throw, like, we can absolute it by doing that. That would save us 1 word. We'll just roll with and I. Alright, so that's our second one. third digit. 4321. We do the same thing, but this time slide 8. We have to move, we have to reset our value, move our original value into AO, slide that right, and I by FH into AO. We're missing. Let's move AO into our next digit. Draw type 1. Draw type 2, and then the last digit. All we have to do on this is just say and I by F. And actually, we don't have to preserve that whatsoever. We can just and I A1 since that is our original value, and then we can move A1 over draw type, and that will do it. That's going to put our attribute, new attribute into RAM. Then what we have to do also is update address. Start button. Let's go back up here. Set attribute digit. I believe that's where we're gonna call. No, we want this attribute, update attribute display. Let's see. Alright, yeah, update attribute display. So that's where we want to be. After that, we want to show our image, and that should, I hope, do it. Let's see, we got to place a cycle attribute in our. Oh, we got to do a loop too. That's right, we got to do a loop. With that being said, 4000 is not going to be able to be used because we're might have to set that to a negative value. That way, when it's first ran, it goes to 0. Alright, so we'll do this since we're gonna do this whole cycle before we change it. We gotta kind of put this in here anyways. So this should make it a negative value, and then we're gonna increment in a loop here because we want to display all these attributes before we change. So we'll call that there. And then we'll put this here. loop get new attribute, and if it's 0, we're actually going to do a couple things here. So 0, we're going to clear it, and then instead of looping back up, we're going to jump to return. Cycle attribute return, that way everything runs. Alright, so when we do our address step here, actually in this address step here, this is called when we are doing just minor steps as well, so we might want to so we'll pull the cycle attribute out of the actual step, and we'll put it in the auto increments. We're going to need delay in here too, that way. So we want to go up and let's do, oh, you know what? We can't delay within a call like that. Alright, so what we got to do is but do we want that in the step as well, or just a scan? That's the question. So we add that in the step, or just a scan? I'll say both. Yeah, I'll say both. Let's do that. So let's do hopefully that's going to work, even though we have. So there are two methods. We have a scan one, and then we have just a one-time change. And the scan one pretty much does a one-time change. It just loops. The problem is we can't add a delay in between the attributes, so we can see the changes while we're in a call, because it messes up the stack. So I don't think this is going to work here because we're in a call. This is what you'd normally use to call delays. Called this technique when you want to run a piece of code that involves a process delay. We'll see what it does. I'm expecting it to crash right there. And we also have a delay. This is the delay I put in there for the change. So what it's going to do is when this is called, it's going to get the attribute, update the attribute, display it for 4 frames, get the next attribute, display it for 4 frames, and it's going to keep going until the attribute list is done. Alright, let's try it out. I don't think it's going to pass. We'll try it though. Gonna run out of space here. Not space, but we're gonna start overlapping another piece of code here. We're getting very close. Not yet there. About 8 lines. Yeah, we got a crash. We got a crash when we scan, so I'm gonna assume it's probably right here. I'm gonna put a breakpoint here. And as soon as I press start, there's our break. As soon as we try to jump this delay, there we go. So we have to call this in a different manner. Or we can call
Don't make me laugh.
this cycle attribute. It's called within the address step. How many times is address step referenced, just out of curiosity? 2. Get that one. Then address step here. So what we can do is we can change the whole address step and the way it performs. We can do same way that we're calling the cycle being changed too. So we can do it's a little bit more code, but you know. step, calculate step direction. Am I trying to address step? Yeah, what's the deal? Oh, that's why. I forgot I took it off the address step, so that's the way we would do it. So that's the way we would get around that without calling. And then obviously we have to put our address stat back into play. And then instead of the return, we're going to get our return back from A7 and exchange to PC A7. And that should fix that problem. Now just a little more code here. For the return, you've got 2 extra words, and for the call, I mean a relative call even, we're putting 5 extra words in there. But whatever, so we've got about 10. Extra words in there maybe. And that should work, and then what we gotta do is we might tweak our cycle delay. I mean, we can possibly use the cycle speed option to dictate how fast those cycle as well. So we do either we're not cycling our attributes, or which I don't think we are. They're staying the same, so we gotta figure out. See, so we do have that in our address step. Okay, so that's good. So that's our address step. Alright, so let's put a breakpoint on this. Let's see what's going on here. Alright, so there's our index, negative. Increase it for our loop. Now we're going to slide it over. We're going to add that. We're going to add our, there's our attribute in A0, A4, 4000. Alright, so that's 135 OFO, so that should be updating that. 4. Getting our third one, putting that over there, and then the last one is going to anti A1, put A1 over there. So all that's good. We have a problem with probably update attribute display. So if we're doing okay. Yeah, update attribute display is probably going array somewhere. So let's follow this. Alright, so this is going to build the entire attribute, all the digits at the top all at once. Alright, so it's going to build our attribute here, so we'll go into here, destroy the last one we made because we don't want it anymore. Take our instance, move over to 5, subtract because our offset for our attributes is increased by 10, so we could reference them without referencing the address objects as well. This is building our width. Let's see. Okay, our width, that's another name for the start of our address for the whole header. Creating the 2. So what we want to focus on, we want we got 11. Alright, we'll put a breakpoint here. I believe. Alright. So that's 14, so it's going to put a gap in there for us. Now we're doing the draw attributes. We're going to build the attribute right here. Grab our hex. Actually 135.00FO, and that is correct. It's got a 4 up there. Let's say this is building the right letters so far. Alright, so let's go back up. Put a breakpoint here and see about the next one. I'm just going to show the image. Delay. Oh, let's see. Okay. That's why we have to jump back up. Jump into our loop. Deleted it for some reason. Loop get new attributes. Oh, I see what we gotta do. We're also going to. We're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to grab our attribute again because AO 11 UFO. Okay, so and then we'll jump to get new attribute index. Probably have to save that real fast too before we pull it back. Attributes, what we'll do is let's do let's preserve this, move this over to A1 because A1, we're going to update that as well, or else we're not going to get any index is always going to stay 0. It's going to okay, so that should save it. Here we just got to pull our attribute back into A0. It's going to jump back up here, increment, so let's get new. We got it. Where's our error? Alright, let's try this out. Such a nice day out today. I'm indoors doing this. Changed my bit stream settings, so I don't know if you guys are getting any stuttering or lag, but last few nights it's been kind of bad, so I tried something different here. Alright, so let's see, let's do 20. Going the wrong way because scan size. Interesting as it stopped when it got to 6C, it looks like, huh? Check that out. Set these up so I can that's one cycle image update of all the what we got, 21 of them. We can probably do scan delay of 1. Alright, so we got a couple things going on here. First thing is when I press up, it's doing a cycle. I think that's because we got it in the step, and our step is being used as we decided that we was going to put that in the step, but I'm not sure. Thinking not. Looks like we've got stuff there. Thinking not. I'm thinking we'll take the take that out of the step, and we'll just have Alright, so that's one issue. The other issue is it stops cycling our attributes. I'm guessing because we're at 0. Let's do this. Let me rebuild this first so I can start with the latest and greatest. And we'll see why it only cycles one time. I thought I reset my index, but maybe not. There's 0. Oh, I guess I didn't. So let me do another build. But we gotta be careful, because if we clear our index right here without updating the attribute display, we could stop on no, it should be right. Okay, never mind. That'd be good, because the attribute that it's displaying is the last one that was put into RAM. So okay, we're good there. Our index would be 0, and next time we come in, it should flow. Excuse me, flow. What's the soup du jour? That sounds good. I think I'll have that. Let's try this again. Alright, let's set something up here. Test. Alright, so now when we go up, it no longer cycles our attributes. If we press start, looks like it's performing as expected. So what it's going to do is it's going to cycle the attributes to the address, and it's going to increase the address by whatever your scan size is. These are our attributes updating here. You can see our attribute being set into the header there. See our graphic location is here. This is our height, this is our width. So I can, if you're gonna scan, like, yeah, maybe I should put an option for using the attribute scanning as well, because it's going to take significantly longer. But I guess if you know you're in the right area, it's probably pretty useful. We can, ideally, you'd probably want to do scan size H. So that's that. Alright, so with that comes a delay in searching for your input to stop it. So it takes a little bit to stop it. You gotta kind of hold the button until it stops. We can rectify that by going through, it's pretty much going through the cycle attribute routine. So what we can do is we'll just put we'll put a check in here after the cycle attribute delay after after each attribute update, it'll check for start button. If that's the case, we will return from there. And do we want to return? Okay, that should be good. So it's going to exit our attribute loop if we're holding start or if we press start. All right, let's test this, and then we gotta put like some definitions up here for these. We put X or H, WH flags, something like that. We can also make this more dynamic of a delay between attributes if you want to use the same option as our scan delay. Imagine if we used off 65,000 numbers, it would never get done. Not that the 65,000 were ever used. This little program here has gotten a little larger than I anticipated. It's not a bad thing though, just more time. It took me a day or two to get it going, and then I'm another day or two into it, just finessing it. I don't know, maybe some people will find it useful. Maybe there'll be some people looking for combat codes in it or something. That'd be great. Oh yeah, much better. Stops and starts a lot better now.
Topping the news today, 2 murders and a robbery in less than 24 hours. Central City citizens are in a panic after a gun battle erupts onto their busy streets. 1 police officer is killed and 4 others hospitalized as a foiled law enforcement sting operation goes terribly wrong.
Definitely get a better variety of images. Like, see all that stuff? I see a big U. Um,
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
I should have the same option I have for the address of the attribute up here. If you're over in the far right, press down or up, it'll cycle through some the attributes. I'm seeing something over here, and like a big U at the 60D. Yeah, so 60D area. So let's see, if we believe one is, what, 1B and 29, let's do... Let's try that out. Actually, let's go... There we go. BD5, we're a little off. Let's go up to BDB. Take this up a little bit higher. Alright, so no luck yet. Small problem would be if we're scanning by the total size and then our attribute goes up, because could be a size difference there. You could have yeah, oh, I'm way off there, my size. You can have a size of, 51,144 bits. Or you can have a size of 1B times 29 times 6. Whoops, I did that wrong. I'd be interested in seeing that interloco and how and what version of it he's done it on. It's not the first time I've heard that either, by the way. Someone else told me. But I'd like to see how he's done it. 4,428, and we have 28. Oh no. Yeah, so we could be skipping half a file, half the size, but I mean, I think we'd still see it though. See, I've got something, somebody sent me this interloco, and I think this is probably what you're talking about. If so, this is, I think, PC version, if I'm right. Yeah, this stuff here. These are like full screen. I mean, they're not cropped at all. They're just full screen. .800 by 508. But here, I'm not really looking for let me move that so I can get this. It's mainly interested in if the brutality letters were in the ROM still, just out of curiosity. It's not a big deal. I mean, if I don't find them, even if they are in there, they can be easily made. I think we're at the end of our graphics ROMs there. Alright, so, what's next? What's next? This works pretty decent. Hopefully we find something from it. Well, I think we found one thing, but, matter of fact, let's revisit that real fast. Let's check that out. Just with our attribute scanning thing, we can maybe do that area a little better. Let me save this state here so we can return to it easily. And if I were to guess, I would say probably, let's do this. Let's go back to that and let's do our 30 times, oops, wrong. 30 times 9a times 6, AD 40. That would be the expected starting position of the end of that. CB5. Yeah, the NBA ones, same stuff, yeah. If I do a NBA Jam Plus, I'll do that. Tournament edition with, you know, all the MK characters and all that stuff. Alright, so let's see if we can fix this one last little problem of when we exit. We go back to our screen of options and we have the palettes are still in memory being used. So maybe this palette format and routine will take care of that for us. It's a pretty decent tool. It's going to be hard to find stuff. Just the nature of that kind of stuff. But it could also be really useful for knowing where the image is and maybe viewing it, punching it in, viewing it if you want to see what it looks like, stuff like that. See if that did anything for us. Oh no, it got worse. It got worse. It even changed our background color. It's funny. Reset, reset. Okay. Hit the reset button. Alright. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense because if we're formatting quite a bit of things, or even formatting, let's see, I thought we went way over formatting a bunch of stuff here, but it looks like it's just not enough, or something just isn't being wiped. Alright, so let's go here, let's put a breakpoint and dive right in. Alright, it's formatting. format, format. Yeah, this already does the palettes. It's doing the palettes here. It's doing the DMA. It's a gigantic formatting routine here, FFA 6050. And for some reason that doesn't get the job done. Let's see something here. 105 BB30. Alright, so there's our palette location for our indexes. They're all wiped. Even wiped again. Let's go format the everything on the screen. So this format DMA, it takes the area for or what you see on the screen here, that area is from 0 all the way to, what's up JK? Thanks buddy. I appreciate that. Those images are written all the way from 0, which you see here, which pretty sure corresponds to the top left, and it goes top to bottom, left to right. We don't have any palettes in there, I don't think, so even if it draws something, you might not see anything being drawn to the screen with no palettes currently loaded. But this is going to format all of this. This is what they use when they darken the screens. You see all this data here. This is the data that's currently occupying the screen. And these are just palette indexes, I believe. I don't know if this is going to update in real time. It doesn't look like it, but if it were, it would be drawing something. I like the emoji. That's awesome. So you see, after it does that, it turns everything to zeros, and we're all black screen here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to MK1 Plus as well. I can't wait to get back to it. HSBGen has been sending me a bunch of cool stuff that he's been working on. A bunch of cool things like some Shang Tsung fatality sprites, decapitation sprites of Shang Tsung, stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be pretty interesting to do. There's our line. If you look at the top of the screen, you can see right in the middle of developer, as I zero out all these indexes, you see that line going from left to right. So that's how that works. And I believe it goes all up to 1F0000, I believe. So these should be Oh no, not that. A little too far. Maybe here. Oh well, you get the idea. Turn into Rick. Oh, Pickle Rick? I don't know if we can turn Goro into Pickle Rick there, Interloco. Yeah, we're gonna turn into Rock. I know what you meant. Yeah, that's on the list as well of things that we want to put into MK1 Plus. So we'll take out this format palette. That's doing us no good. I wonder if this is just a little. Let's do this. Let's fire this back up. Because this 2F90 routine is quite big on format and stuff. So maybe. Alright, so let me see. So I'm going to take away that 2F90. Now you can't get out of there. Oh, that's what I gotta do. I also have to also gotta get rid of that second wipe because that's oh, okay. Yeah, I knew that. I knew what we had to do. For some reason I was get to end our process for our I actually do have a routine for that. It should kill all processes except for the one that is running. Let me see. That's this one here. Format all threads. So this should kill our flashing routine. Let's plug this in real fast. We got OD5F, 6570, FF9B. Oops, you know what I should have done? Let's go back in here. There we go. Now let's do this. OD5F, 6570, FF9B. We'll save that. And okay, well, we kind of killed even our original flashing ones. Which we don't want to do that. So let's just do it. Let's just do it the. Put a bookmark here. Here I am. Let's get rid of this one. And let's go up to where we create our selectors. So we got 101 and 202. Those are our selectors. Let's go get them. So we're gonna do this. We just put our instance into AO. We'll call this, and then we'll do the same thing and put our instance of the other selector into AO, which was 202. Actually, let's put that before the other format. This makes more sense, I guess. So hopefully when we created those with instances 101 and 202, they aren't already, or they aren't also used by other processes at the same time. Yeah, we can make whatever graphics. We got the capability of doing that, putting graphics into the game. So if something needs touched up or added, that makes sense, I guess. We can definitely take care of that. All right, beautiful. We're exiting like we should. Alright, everything looks good. I'll probably keep that graphic searcher in there. People probably like to toy with it, I guess, if they can find something. Some people like to do that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, the Goro thing. If we go to I wonder if they have it on the cutting room floor. See, I frequent this page quite a bit, MK2. Alright, some cheat codes for people that can't get into the EJB menu. Probably shouldn't be in it then. Let's see. So there's the sprite. I think what that needs, that sprite needs probably 2 more frames when he's crumbling, which should be easy to do since we have the full image. And we can just kind of erode away at it to make a couple more frames. Shang Tsung laughing, which may have been a win pose. First time I've actually taken a look at the MK1 unused stuff on the cutting room floor. Look at this music here. Yeah, this is what HSBGen, I think, or maybe it was you, JK, that was telling me about the prototype music. Not Space Gamer. I had a guy email and contact me. He did a lot of work on the audio chip that this game actually runs, and he says there's about 30 seconds left of unused audio space on U13. So we do have room to put custom sounds in MK1. We'll probably do Reptile's name. This sprite for Shang Tsung swinging his katana, the sequence looks way off. It just looks so odd. I see he's taking it out of the sheath, but when I got my MK1 machine, it actually came with 1.0. I was a little surprised. It was original as can be, I guess. Sub-Zero can freeze opponent in air for finish him finisher as he's fallen from uppercut. Interesting. That may be something we can do in turbo mode for Sub-Zero. We can give him the old air freeze or something. Well, not air freeze, but the ability to freeze a fallen opponent at least one time for juggling purposes. Alright, not bad. I think we're going to add to this list, though. We'll definitely have some stuff hopefully we find. I don't know what that Johnny Cage one was supposed to be, but it looks really incomplete. Not sure how you want to touch that. But yeah, I'd like to really do this Goro one. Would definitely be on the list of things to restore. We'll just get two more frames. So it looks like he's actually eroding away. Who knows? Maybe those are in there still. It's just not referenced. And let's see. I've got here. I've got all these versions of MAME open here. It's been a while since I turned this on.
Sub-Zero.
You know what I haven't tried is alright, so the MK1 or MK3 is good. That's all good there. Let's get out of that. I was looking at the bank for MK3 because we have hardware flickering issues. I guess still got to look at that. I'll toy with Sub-Zero here for a second. Looks like we have to tie that freeze to this option. It looks like it's off, but still working for some reason. So we'll have to fix that.
Sub-Zero. Fight.
Yeah, they're oblivious to that move.
Sub-Zero. Win. Flawless victory. Fight. Sub-Zero. Win. Flawless victory. Fatality. Fight. Sub-Zero.
My
wins.
computer is stumbling. It's about that's 5 years old now. It might be time to refresh the computer here. I bought this computer just for the sole purpose of doing MK2 plus. I needed, well, back then, 5 years ago, I needed something that was more modern and also was capable of doing multiple displays. And I ended up having to buy like a gaming PC to actually get
Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory.
get what I wanted for the multiple outputs. Could have built one, but at the time I just wanted one as soon as possible. So this one seems to be kind of handling everything I can throw at it.
Sub-Zero wins. Fight.
Maybe I can see if I can just refresh the processor and maybe some more RAM.
Sub-Zero wins. Fatality. Test your might. Fight.
Oh, it's too easy to play with Sub-Zero now. I'll have to add something for the
Sub-Zero
computer.
wins. Fight. Sub-Zero
Slide
wins.
into a pit
Flawless
fatality.
victory.
I got the filter turned off. It's more useful to have it turned off when I'm working with art and palette stuff related to the game. I turned it off one day when I was doing some palette work.
Sub-Zero wins.
Yeah. Kano is one of those people with the weird off, like, he's got a weird hitbox, it seems like, when you try to follow up with that uppercut. It won't connect him, or Shang Tsung, or I'm sorry, or Liu Kang.
Sub-Zero win. Fatality. Fight.
Cage has something that's seems to happen to him. It seems like after that jump kick. Oh.
Johnny Cage wins. Fight.
Cage just has that same issue as Kano and Liu Kang. Catch him with the slide, and for the try to get him, it seems like you just whiff him, but it feels like he's within the range. He just
Sub-Zero wins. Fight.
there we go. We got a connection there. It must be just maybe I can tweak the flop a little bit. Maybe it might work better on all the characters. What's up, Hashire? How you doing?
Sub-Zero wins. Fatality.
I'm gonna end the stream here pretty soon. I'm gonna go and stain the front porch swing that I just built for my wife. But I'll be back after that, and maybe we'll do some MK1.
Fight. Sub-Zero wins.
It's not bad, Michael. It's a nice day out. I figure we can take care of it. Been a couple weeks since we've had it up, so. How does that happen? How do you get frozen while you're ducked?
Sub-Zero wins.
Probably a nice 60 degrees, 65 degrees at the most.
Fight.
I kind of forgot I had a second opponent there. Oh, I see. Gonna sweep me out of my ice clone.
Sub-Zero
Probably not. Just because the ice clone's a pretty good buff, he's gonna. It's a pretty powerful move for him. I don't think he needs a sled. Imagine the stuff we'd have to do for the slide. We'd have to make slipping animations and stuff. Doesn't sound like fun at all.
Sub-Zero wins.
Just slow down there, you can see Sub-Zero originally had Scorpion's light pose. No!
Sonya wins. Fight. Sub-Zero wins. Fight.
Oh, you know what I want to try? I'm gonna try Ice Clone and then a Fatality next to him. Maybe when I bring him in, they'll be frozen. Man, I'm getting some lag with this game. My computer is not liking it for some reason.
Sub-Zero wins.
You can't air freeze normally in the game, Mike. But you can do an ice clone. Like so. Let's see, how do I do this? I want to set this up to where I catch them in an ice clone. And I don't know if I'm going to have time because ice clone doesn't last long enough.
Sub-Zero.
Yeah, that'd be really close. Oh yeah, it didn't last long enough.
Sub-Zero wins. Fatality.
Oh, get frozen on the ground.
Excellent.
Like I've been cheated that round. It's okay.
Fight. Sub-Zero wins.
What is this sorcery they're claiming I have? An ice clone of some sort. Oh, this is not good.
Sub-Zero wins. Fight.
My inputs are lagged as well as the game. Huh. Yeah, we'll have to make a Shang Tsung is gonna get some kind of damage from a slide or a sweep.
Sub-Zero wins. Excellent. Sonya, sub. Excellent.
Got an idea here. Let's see if I can catch. No, damn it. Yeah, we couldn't get him to flop over, obviously.
Sonya, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Liu Kang, Raiden, Kano, Johnny Cage.
Is that because of the freeze?
Sonya, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Liu Kang, Raiden, Kano, Johnny Cage.
I think it's about time I restart my computer as well. This thing is not. Alright guys, I'm gonna stop the stream here. I'll probably be back later to do some more streaming. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.
Liu Kang